The royal family of Dubai makes Hollywood A-listers and world-famous sports stars look like peasants. Why? One reason, their bank balance. With over $19 billion floating around, the family, and a big family at that, can buy whatever it pleases. With gold-plated cars, seemingly endless holidays, private jets, a $2.7 million camel, and everything in between, this family seriously knows how to cash a check. Let's kick things off with the beloved Crown Prince of Dubai. His full name is Sheikh Hamdan bin Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, but we know him better simply as Sheikh Hamdan, or by his Instagram handle, Fazza. That definitely rolls off the tongue a little easier, wouldn't you say? While he might be humble and charitable, make no mistake, he's still filthy rich beyond our wildest dreams. Take one look at his $70 million private yacht, our first excessive purchase of the day, and you'll quickly come to terms with that. Known as Smeralda, the 252-foot yacht has room for 12 guests to live it up in the highest of luxury, with room for 24 crew members who do everything from cooking to house cleaning, and of course making sure that Fazza's dear Smeralda doesn't smash into any smaller, less expensive boats. One yacht is plenty, right? For a regular human maybe, but not for a royal. The Dubai royal family also owns the Dubai, a $400 million, 532-foot floating behemoth that boasts space for 48 guests to sleep comfortably, plus room for 88 crew members. Crazy. Then there's the almost 300-foot Dubai super yacht, which is a converted cruise ship, the 183-foot Quattrole Shadow, plus the original Quattrole. Fazza owns those last two, by the way. One of his brothers, Mansour, decided that he'd join in on the boat party action too. Yep, that's this guy. The one living his best life on the beach. And here he is with Bill Clinton and Drake, because why not? Anyway, Mansour went out and bought himself a Beniti Yacht Code 8 worth well in excess of $10 million. Seriously, how many yachts does one family need? Golly gosh. Speaking of lavish lifestyles, we bet you'll never expect what our friends over at The Taco put together in their list of how the richest kids from Tehran spend their money. Alright, back to Fazza for a minute. All this yacht talk is making us seasick, so let's stick to land, where he's certainly not afraid to splurge either. From the rare luxury performance Mercedes G63 AMG, worth close to $150,000, to his mega sleek $200,000 Mercedes AMG SLS, there's no way that you'll see him or any of his siblings riding around in anything less than top-class sophistication. Is that enough cars? Not in the slightest. Let's throw in a Ferrari LaFerrari, a Lamborghini Veneno, a McLaren P1, a Bugatti Veyron, a Ferrari F12, and an Aston Martin 177. And now we're starting to see what all this sweet, sweet cash is going toward. It's not all about Fazza either. His brother Mansour gets behind the wheel of expensive Mercedes wagons too, and so does the rest of the family. All in all, when we include Sheikh Mohammed, the total number of family cars climbs to over 100. Which includes all the well-known luxury brands such as BMW, Rolls-Royce, Mercedes, Ferrari, and also a handful of the older vintage cars. While all of those cars and brand names are expensive and impressive in their own right, wait until you see two specific sets of wheels belonging to this clan. Ladies and gentlemen, not only does the family boast both another Lamborghini and a Range Rover as part of their collection, but they've forked out a little extra for some interesting upgrades. We're not talking about additional cup holders or a rear-view camera. Any guesses? We're talking literally plating the entire cars in a layer of shimmering, look at me, I'm so rich, gold. Nothing says excessive quite like taking something that's already painfully expensive and then coating it in solid gold, am I right? You know what else seems rather excessive? A $2.7 million camel, that's what. Yep, Sheikh Hamdan went ahead and forked out the largest sum in history for one particular female camel. It doesn't end there though. He reportedly spent close to $4.5 million for more than 12 camels, all in the space of one day. Well, hold up, let's rewind just a second. We know that the Dubai royal family is stinking rich, and we know that they're from Dubai, obviously. But who exactly are they? Well, here's the bite-sized lowdown. In the UAE, that's United Arab Emirates, there are 7 emirates and 6 royal families. Dubai, like Abu Dhabi, which is here, and Ajman, which is here, is an emirate. And here are the other ones. After Dubai became independent from Abu Dhabi in 1833, there have been 12 rulers. Today, the man calling the shots, the current ruler of Dubai as well as the vice president of the UAE, is His Royal Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum. And make no mistake, he's the major reason why the royal Dubai kids can have their glamorous, luxurious lives, throwing away wads of cash like they're breadcrumbs. Why? Because he's rocking an estimated net worth of $19 billion. That's why. Over the years, Sheikh Mohammed has had 6 wives, and in total, hold on to your baby formula, folks, he has a whopping 23 children. Throw in the countless grandchildren and endless cousins, and it starts to make sense why the family needs a number of jealousy-inducing giant mansions just to hang out at. Okay, let's get back to the Crown Prince Fazza for a minute. While his siblings certainly share the wealthy fortune, thanks to his open and honest posts on social media, he's the royal child who has become the most famous. Compared to the other royal families around the world, Dubai's is generally open, engaging, selfless, and very happy to share what they're up to. By contrast, the British royal family, for example, is required to keep a rigid low profile and aren't even allowed to have social media accounts. No hashtag Throwback Thursdays for Meghan Markle anywhere. So with Fazza, his brother Mansour, and their other siblings online, the family's generosity becomes well known. Case in point, when a fellow Emirati cancer patient emotionally pleaded for financial aid to fund his treatments on social media, the Crown Prince offered to pay the entire $800,000 bill out of his pocket, an infinitely deep pocket at that. Fazza also donated $6 million to the Dubai Autism Center after winning it at the Dubai World Cup. Good stuff. And something totally out of left field, he even once paid the entire travel costs of 400 fans that were sent to watch the Asian Championship League football final in China. Imagine that you never had to worry about money. What would you do? Be generous with it or withdraw golden bars from ATMs for the sake of being rich? Well, actually, whether you're a royal Dubai kid or not, you can legitimately do that in Dubai. It's not nicknamed the City of Gold for no reason. But surprisingly enough, for the family's children, it's generally a case of living a relatively normal life. You'd expect that people with access to that insane, tear-jerking amount of cash would splurge on huge parties, the finest suits, all the gizmos and gadgets in the world, and then share it all on social media for the rest of the world to envy, Dan Blazarian style. Granted, there is certainly a fair share of that from time to time, but the real-life Richie Rich kids tend to focus on their passions. For Fazza, those passions are charity, animals, adventure, and sport. The Crown Prince hangs out with horses, goes hunting with his dad, doesn't mind trying his hand at photography, and is a big fan of getting out into the great outdoors and enjoying a breath of fresh air. Oh, and lions and tigers. He gets to hang out with lions and tigers. Why? Because he's rich and he can do what he wants, that's why. Above all, Fazza and the rest of the family throw away bucket loads of money traveling. They've been to Iceland, Tanzania, California, Canada, Italy, all over the UAE, and countless places in between. Of course, when they're jet-setting around the globe, flying to wherever their heart desires, it's by one of 2 ways. The first would be on board one of Sheikh Mohammed's insanely expensive private jets. The Sheikh himself actually owns not 1 but 2 Boeing 747 BBJs. These are no itty-bitty private jets, people. These beasts are capable of sitting between 25 and 50 passengers, equipped with the most luxurious of interiors, private assistants and pilots, and, if they're in the mood, course after course of the finest food. Those BBJs don't come cheap, make no mistake. New, they'll cost you around, ready for this? $367 million. And remember, the Dubai royal family has 2 of them. But take a quick look inside and you'll see why the Sheikh was willing to shell out a few bucks. But when Fazza and his siblings aren't jetting around in their dad's paradise in the sky, you can bet your bottom dollar that they're flying first class aboard Emirates Airlines. Tickets vary in price, of course, but just to give you a ballpark figure, a first-class ticket between New York and Dubai is usually around $19,000. Considering that they travel all the time, near and far, and in case you forgot, are 23 children in total, that's an exorbitant amount of cash. I wonder if they even bother with air miles. Of course, a lot of the Dubai royal children are still, well, children. So we'll discover plenty more about their spending habits over the coming years. Imagine, if you liked these rich kids of Dubai, picture how much you'll love hearing all about how the rich kids of Tehran are spending their fortunes. Our friends over at the Taco have compiled a list of lavish cars, high-end shopping sprees, and exclusive vacations, and even a Bel Air district that you wouldn't believe is really in Iran.